Have you ever noticed that whenever a new graphics card is launched, it seems to have the same amount of VRAM as the past few generations? It's really frustrating because you expect the card to be faster and more powerful, but it's not. And let's be honest, we all think it's going to need more VRAM in the future, but not everyone talks about it. Well, I'm here to talk about it today. Right now, a lot of people are talking about the RTX 3070 and 3060 Ti, which only have 8GB of VRAM, and they're struggling to run games like Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and The Last of Us Part 1. It's ironic because one of the main selling points of Nvidia's cards is their better ray tracing performance, but they consistently don't put enough VRAM in their graphics cards. Ray tracing uses more VRAM, and every new feature seems to demand more. Every game coming out now has issues with RAM management, and I don't think this issue is going away. It's just going to get worse. In a few years, your games just won't run correctly, and you'll be tempted to upgrade your card. A lot of people don't even know technically how much VRAM they need for their games, or ever really know what makes up the components of their graphics card. I want to clear up some misconceptions that some people may or may not have. If you're playing at a higher resolution, then you need more VRAM. But if you're only playing at 1080p, in many situations, 8GB should be sufficient. It only really scales with the performance of your graphics card, so it all depends on the performance of your card. In the case of the GTX 1070 back in 2016, 8GB of VRAM was more than enough for that card. Even today, it still runs great at 8GB. Honestly, if you're like me and you don't play the latest AAA games all the time, you're probably not affected by Nvidia's approach. Yeah, they're not putting in an excess amount to future-proof their graphics cards, but it doesn't seem to matter for the average person. On the other hand, AMD markets their graphics cards as having more VRAM, and it might sway some people, especially if you're using heavy workloads. But let's be real, is AMD's approach really that big of an advantage for a lot of people? I hate to say it, but it doesn't seem like it. A lot of people aren't fully aware that VRAM matters, especially because the impact of not having enough VRAM may not be felt until years down the line. Do we really need to pay attention to every game out there? As much as some people are worried about the graphics card memory situation, it might not be as big of a deal as we're making it out to be. In conclusion, the amount of VRAM you need really depends on the type of consumer you are. If you're someone who wants to play the latest AAA titles, you'll likely need to pay more for a graphics card with higher VRAM. It's important to consider your needs and do your research before making a decision on which graphics card to purchase. However, it's important to speak up and demand more from manufacturers. Without adequate VRAM, you'll likely need to upgrade your graphics card more frequently, which can be a hassle and a waste of money. I would like to hear your thoughts on this situation. If you currently have an 8GB graphics card that's fast enough to utilize all 8GB, have you experienced any issues? Please feel free to share your thoughts with me. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.